Was a wound on his cheek, but they can fix that for the visitation. I want an open casket. David was such a beautiful man. Have you found out anything? Do you know who did this to him?
Not yet.
So awful. It's everything. I'm just trying to focus on the details, the death notice, the flowers, which passage to read. David wasn't a religious man, but I think the Old Testament is beautiful.
What shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and the goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. Isaiah 40. Nice for a graveside service.
Oh, no, David isn't going to be buried. He's going to be cremated like my first husband. Here.
Your first husband gave you that ring?
No, this is him. Larry. There's a company called Memory Gem, and they take cremated remains and make it into artificial diamonds.
Oh.
So you're going to make David into another ring?
No. A pendant. Bigger than this, and closer to my heart. I was fond of Larry, but David was the love of my life.
Mrs. DiNapoli, we heard that maybe you and David were having some troubles.
What? No, no trouble.
That maybe you were heading toward divorce.
Me and David? No. We were soulmates.
What are you guys looking for? Her drawing a bullseye on his back?
No, they look like soulmates to you.
Well, they're not speaking to each other. They look married.
This is the day before.
Oh, those clothes are god-awful. Leopard print and zebra print.
I like a little color on a woman.
Yeah, I actually think the orange goes nicely with the zebra.
All right, this is the last one, the morning of the murder. She's taking a taxi this time.
A hack number right there.
I wonder where she's going.
Well, I guarantee it's not Saks Fifth Avenue.
I know. I didn't tell you about the sword. I was embarrassed.
Embarrassed? Embarrassed about killing your husband?
I didn't kill David.
His wounds were consistent with the sword that you bought that you didn't tell us about. The night he was murdered, you could have driven in from Connecticut and been back before anyone had known you were gone.
No. Somebody else killed David. They broke into the house for those comics, and they must have seen the sword and realized that it would reach into the cage.
You're saying he was already in the cage?
That's a little embarrassing, too. Is there someone else I could talk to?
Sex games.
Sex games? Locking your husband in a dog cage before you go on an overnight trip?
He needed to be punished.
Oh.
Oh, okay. What about the sword?
You hold it against certain sensitive body parts.
Okay, what about shoving it through his chest? Maybe he really needed to be punished.
She says it was all for fun, never for harm, and she can prove it.
How?
They've done it before. She has a witness. West Hampton Police Department.
It doesn't look good, Mrs. DiNapoli. You gotta understand.
Call me Marielle, because I feel we're working together on this.
From different ends, Marielle. The evidence doesn't lie. Your first husband was poisoned.
And your second husband told the police at least 4 times that you tried to kill him.
I explained all that to your lieutenant. Didn't she explain it to you?
Well, if it was just game playing, why did he call the police?
Well, he'd get mad about something, like if I left a sandwich in the car. He never liked that. But then, you know, if one of our scenarios got a little out of hand, he'd overreact until we, you know, got back on track.
You locked David in a dog cage and left him there for the weekend.
I don't expect you to understand, but what David and I had together, it was sent by God.
You were soulmates.
Yes.
And you found this out when you were married to your first husband.
It was bad timing. Well, if I had met David first, I never would have even been with another man.
But you were with another man, and that man was killed, which left you financially set up and alone with David, right?
That's true. You're not gonna let up on this, are you?
No, we're not. You had every reason in the world to murder your first husband.
So did David.
David.
His business was fiber optics. His company had a plant in China. He used to go over there, and they had a certain chemical that...
Thallium.
That was the one. David brought some back.
You're saying you and he killed your first husband together?
No, it was David, just David. And he told me about it afterwards. I felt bad about Larry, but I wasn't going to go to the police.
Even though he murdered your husband.
Because he loved me. Because we were soulmates. Because we had to be together. Am I under arrest? Then I have to get back to the funeral home.
People v. Marielle DiNapoli. Charge is murder in the second degree.
Mrs. DiNapoli pleads not guilty?
No. She pleads not possible.
Excuse me?
How can you murder your own heart?
The actual charge, Your Honor, is murdering her husband.
How can you murder your own soul?
Stick around, you'll see.
You think Marty Ashcroft killed my husband? And you want me to seduce him?
That's not what we said.
We don't want you to lock him in a dog cage either.
Just talk to him. If you really want to help us, if you're willing.
I'm willing.
Say I was surprised you called me.
I just wanted to be with somebody who knew David, and you were his friend. This whole thing has just been so terrible.
So, they dropped the charge against you?
Oh, of course they did. They found people who saw me in Connecticut while David was being killed. The idea that they would arrest me, that they would suspect me.
I know. I'm sorry about David.
You knew how special he was.
If there's anything I can do.
I really appreciate that, Marty. I feel so alone now.
Anything, Mariel.
What? I need money to pay bills. David's investments were very complicated, and his comic books were all gone. And if I just had a couple of those to sell, you know, to just tide me over.
They might not all be gone.
But they were stolen.
Not all of them. David gave me a few to evaluate.
You have some of David's comic books?
You son of a bitch!
Ow! Ah! You killed David! You bastard!
Ariel, put it down!
He killed my soul.
She's crazy!
Drop it! He killed him. He killed him.
I did not.
I know you did.
It's been over a month, Mr. McCoy. You haven't presented one witness to the grand jury or issued one subpoena.
I'm sure you explained to your clients, Mr. Baylor, there's no rush to indict.
You have a signed confession.
We have a statement, which came with a defense that we can't at this time rebut.
Can't or won't?
Don't be shy. Put your cards on the table.
This white girl's lawyers are on the news every other day, mocking us, calling their son a street hustler.
I'm not trying this case in the media.
You're not trying this case anywhere. You're saying that the killers of young black men have nothing to fear from the district attorney.
I understand you're frustrated, but if we go to trial now, we'll lose. Simple as that.
It doesn't make sense. She can't prove Charlie raped her.
It's enough that she says he did. We have to prove he didn't beyond a reasonable doubt.
This is just like the last time. I can't go through it again.
What last time?
A girl accused Charlie of touching her.
He has a criminal record?
He was a kid. We told Lieutenant Van Buren.
It's of no consequence. He was 12 years old. Jane, Ed. We're putting you on notice, Mr. McCoy. Either you move this case forward or we start shoving.
The record was sealed. It should have been expunged. It wasn't even supposed to be on the system.
Hardly the point. You knew about it. You should have told us.
It was a 6-year-old misdemeanor.
It's a sexual assault.
He was a minor participant. No drugs were involved, no weapons, no rape. I made a judgment call.
This is my case, Lieutenant. I decide what's relevant. This is a disaster. Not only does it make Charlie Monroe look bad, it makes us look worse for withholding evidence.
Well, if anyone was looking for an excuse to drop the case, now they have one.
It's not exculpatory evidence. Under Brady, we're under no obligation to turn it over to the defense.
They can argue it's evidence he had a reputation for sexual violence.
Which is relevant only if she knew his reputation before she killed him. She can't say she did and claim she didn't know him.
Do you expect a jury to give a damn? I don't want this to come back and bite us in the ass in the middle of the trial. Notify the defense.
Mr. McCoy, this is for you.
It's from the Monroe's attorney. They filed a writ of mandamus to force us to indict. I call that a shove.
Under CPLR Section 7803, this court can compel Mr. McCoy to perform his duty.
The decision to prosecute, let alone seek an indictment, is solely within my discretion.
His refusal to indict Danielle Mason is an abuse of that discretion.
Prosecutorial discretion is absolute. By definition, it can't be abused.
There are no absolutes in the law, Mr. McCoy. You have a confession. What's the problem?
The defendant made a claim of self-defense.
Well, let a trial jury decide if she's credible. Mr. McCoy can make his prima facie case for murder. I can only see one reason why he hasn't sought an indictment.
I want a murder conviction as much as you. Calling me a racist.
Address yourself to me, Mr. McCoy.
Your Honor, it's up to you to give the victim's family a chance at getting justice.
With all due respect, Your Honor, you don't have the authority to force this case before a grand jury. I cite Hammond v. Leonard, Murphy v. Kelly.
I don't really care about precedents, Mr. McCoy. I'm granting the petitioner's request. And I'm ordering you to seek an indictment.
Your Honor...
We're done, Mr. McCoy. Either you comply, or I'll have you removed from the case and cited for contempt.
I received this letter late this afternoon. It's unsigned. The author claims to be a co-worker of juror number 6, who he says is a racist.
Number 6, the tool and die maker.
The white tool and die maker.
The letter reads in part, I heard him say on several occasions how he can't stand taking the subway anymore because he has to ride with the blacks. He wishes they had a special car for them at the end of the train.
Have you spoken to the juror?
Yes. Of course, he denies the allegations, but I'm inclined to dismiss him.
What a coincidence, Your Honor. The first alternate juror is a young black woman. This letter is a blatant attempt to hang the jury by altering its racial makeup. It's tampering.
Unless it's true.
My husband is waiting for me in the Hamptons. I'll hear arguments on Monday.
This is a serious accusation. I hope the judge does the right thing.
So serious, I had the police check into it.
Workers at the juror's tool and die factory said a heavy-set white man driving a red Ford tried to question them about the juror.
Doesn't your investigator drive a red Ford, Mr. Baylor?
You're saying I wrote this letter? You're accusing me of jury tampering? You better back it up.
This isn't the way to get justice for your son.
We don't know anything about this letter. But from where we sit, your way isn't working.
Our way was to get all our ducks in a row before going to the grand jury.
Right. It's our fault. Charlie was stupid to get mixed up with a white girl. And we're naive to expect a fair trial.
Stunts like this letter don't help.
They are dragging my son's good name through the mud. What are you doing to stop it?
You tell Adam Schiff that if this racist isn't thrown off the jury, I'm releasing the letter to the media.
Gagliardi. Lebrano, George Lebrano. Tommy always used this place.
Tommy liked the Bingham, 38th Street.
You know Tommy? Yeah, the Bingham, nice place. Very nice, yeah. You got the money, all the money? Let me see it. I gotta see it first. Put it out here. Let me see. 4 G's, it better be here. I don't like being jerked around. You're $1 short. I'm gonna get very upset.
You told me 3,500.
I meant 4. That's what I meant. Maybe I said 35. I meant 4. Gorgeous weapon, cherry, numbers burned. It's a giveaway you ought to be paying for. This is very fine, brand new. What's the matter? It's not okay. You should like it. You don't like it, you ought to be paying more. You got the extra 500, come up with it now. It's a good buy.
It's fine, it's fine.
You want to be Mr. 10%? Here's your 10%.
Officer down! 524 East! Get a bus now!
Phil, 30 years. Charmed life. I never even fired. I can't breathe.
We're not here to talk you into anything, Phil.
Just can't buy to see me, huh? How good is Lebrano's testimony?
It won't nail him.
Could help. And Elvis could walk either way.
You don't have to do this, Phil. They drop attempted murder, all he gets is assault with a deadly.
Mikey, I can walk. I can talk. I can... all the important things. This guy Lebrano's gonna do time anyway. Make the deal.
He asked for a steroid, said he fired left-handed.
When you sell illicit firearms, do you normally run the risk of dealing with people you've never seen before?
This guy Tani has a reputation. They say he's done maybe 50, 60 people.
Do you want to object, Mr. Minetti?
No objection, Your Honor. He's talking about someone named Gaitan, not my client.
Mr. Lebrano, we've heard testimony that Manuel Ortega was killed with a .223 automatic. What caliber is the Sterol?
That's a .223.
And how many guns have you sold in your lifetime?
I would guess 200 or 300.
How many of those were Sterols?
15, 20 at the most.
Thank you. No further questions.
This isn't a freebie.
Until we turn up Costabile, we've nothing to offer.
Hypothetically, when you do find him.
If the testimony is useful, we can discuss parole recommendation.
I didn't know until I saw him on TV. I sold Costabile a couple of pieces. He works for them, just like Gaitan.
Gaitan killed his son.
Rumors. The kid was getting chummy with the feds, but might have been Gaitan, might not. Yeah, the guy got me and Morelli off. That means we were acquitted, as an innocent, as in take a hike.
You think we give a crap about some old extortion beef, Bronson?
Oh, how, you just came by to play oldies on the jukebox?
No, we were looking at an attempted murder. A guy named Jim Shepard, gunned down on the street.
Never heard of him, and I don't own a gun. You want to search me? Don't tickle.
We know you didn't pull the trigger, Bronson, but we also know who did.
Therefore, you're hassling me. Why?
The shooter's a pro, but you set up the job for the interested party.
You're dreaming.
Your late pal Morelli used this hitman to take out an overdue customer. You would have known about that.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, you'd become acquainted with a lawyer named Muller and his wife, Estelle.
Her I remember. She worked in the office.
Well, see? Now we're starting to get someplace.
So when she wanted to hire a hitman, she called you. You set her up with the guy you knew about.
Now there you lost me again.
Hey, you don't think we're gonna find a trace of this when we rip through your phone records, your money records, and every little piece of your miserable life? Then you're in for attempted murder.
Unless.
Did you set the lady up with the shooter?
Yeah. And she won't pay the back half because the job wasn't done and the shooter is getting very unpleasant on the subject.
Well, then we're gonna make everybody happy. You just call the lady back and tell her you found a new man who's gonna finish the job.
You're wrong. Tommy was a great boss, but if he didn't wear loafers every day, I'd be the one tying his shoes.
So he wasn't exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer, huh?
Didn't have to be. He had what they call in this business a gut, a nose for material.
So did his gut or his nose ever get him in trouble?
Tommy was a film producer.
Yeah, what does that mean exactly? I've never been sure.
It means there's always somebody mad at him.
But who lately?
Sonny King, for one. Tommy started ducking his calls a couple of months ago.
Sonny King?
He's the one that wrote the book the movie was based on.
Al Dente's a true story, right?
Supposedly. Sonny exaggerates, especially about himself.
What do you mean?
Sonny passed himself off as a gangster, but really he's just some guy who hung around and listened to the wise guys tell lies. And then he put them all in a book. Then Tommy bought the book, threw in some more lies, and made the movie.
So why was your boss ducking Sonny's phone calls?
Sonny's a professional pest. He'd call 5, 6 times a day, always with his hand out.
He ever threatened Mr. Mitchell?
Look, I just answer the phones and make reservations. Maybe you better talk to Tommy's business partner.
Dr. Vincent Thurman died in 1997. He was an oncologist at Ramapo Hospital, where Nathan Robinson died in 1959.
Well, safe to assume Thurman was Nathan's doctor, but doesn't explain why he was pulling blood out of Eddie Robinson 40 years later.
Yeah, but Michael Reed's rant about white people trying to steal his family's blood is starting to make sense. Take a look at this. Thurman founded Hemolabs in 1959.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Big company. Didn't realize they started so small.
Yeah, very small. Their first product was cancer cells sold for research.
Nathan Robinson died of cancer.
Do you have any ongoing research related to a man named Nathan Robinson? Or Jerome or Jaden Turner?
I'm sorry. All of our projects are confidential and proprietary.
The reason we're asking, Mr. Dolan, is that among other things, there are allegations concerning an assault on Mr. Turner's 7-year-old son.
And you think this is related to my company's research?
A private detective named Hernandez was involved. Something may have occurred at the time that he was alone with this boy.
Alone? Is that what the child said?
Well, that's confidential and proprietary.
Before I answer any more questions, I'd like to consult my legal department.
They're circling the wagons.
Nothing like a subpoena to bust up the party.
Hemolabs tested Jaden to see if he was a descendant of Nathan Robinson.
For what purpose?
Well, it doesn't say in the documents, but Hemocell line, the one they make a zillion selling to research labs, is known as NARO.
For Nathan Robinson. Jaden's great-grandfather.
Right. We studied NARO cells in medical school. I never realized until today where they came from. They're the first human cells to stay alive in culture, so they're considered immortal. They're a lab staple, like white mice or petri dishes.
But if Hemolabs had Nathan's cells, why would they need genetic material from his great-grandson?
Most likely testing a new drug. Who knows what they're cooking up in the basement? All right, any more questions? You know where to find me.
6 months ago, one of our researchers discovered that NARO cells contain a previously unknown oncogene for lung cancer, RJ42.
An oncogene?
The genetic trigger that activates cancer in healthy cells. It was a huge breakthrough. But the next step was to prove proliferative advantage in cells carrying this oncogene, and the best way to do that was to study the last descendants of Nathan Robinson.
Did you plan on compensating the Turners for this donation?
They would have been given $10,000.
Now, Nathan Robinson never consented to having his cancer cells harvested, correct? Same thing for his son, Eddie.
Nathan Robinson was cared for in a public hospital.
Well, in a de facto colored ward, this ward, in Ramapo Hills Hospital.
It was a different time. Mr. Robinson received free care, so it was only fair to take samples for medical research.
Oh, and for profit. Hemolabs never paid Nathan nor his descendants a single penny
Let me be
in
clear about this.
compensation.
Taking the sample did not hurt Nathan Robinson or impede his recovery one iota. The drugs that we make have helped millions of people.
Have you heard of the Tuskegee experiments?
Of course.
Then please, tell the jury what they were.
Doctors recruited black men with syphilis to study the disease. There were abuses.
Abuses? The doctors withheld penicillin and did nothing while these men rotted to death in agony.
That has nothing to do with this.
So you say. Do you know the term night doctors?
It's an urban legend. Doctors snatching black residents off the streets to perform medical experiments without their consent. And I can assure you, it never happened at Hemolabs.
No. Hemolabs just did the same thing in the light of day. So you can understand why Michael Reed was so angry at his cousin for helping you. Nothing further.
When you hired Mr. Hernandez to find Nathan's descendants, you knew he had a violent record as a police officer?
I believe so.
Making him the perfect fit to bully them into cooperating?
No.
Anything to get the blood you needed on the cheap. Just like Dr. Thurman did with Nathan Robinson.
Objection.
Withdrawn. Nothing further.
We're prepared to make your client an offer. He pleads to man one. We'll recommend 10 years.
Jury's still out. We'll take our chances.
If they convict, your client could be looking at 25 to life.
Now, I think we all have an interest in settling this matter.
Hemolabs has no liability here.
But there is doing the right thing. Or if that doesn't interest you, Mr. Dolan, what's it worth to your company to avoid the publicity of another trial?
You want us to bribe Michael Reed into pleading guilty?
I have no intention of taking the stand again. $1 million, paid out over 10 years to be divided equally among Nathan Robinson's heirs.
Your company has annual revenues of $400 million.
We have to draw a line, Mr. Cutter. Otherwise, we'll be fighting off lawsuits left and right.
Or you may be fighting off a jail sentence. Eddie Robinson, Nathan's son, in a group home with cerebral palsy. He lives in my jurisdiction. Read the definition of assault. It includes taking blood without consent.
There's a statute of limitations.
Not for a concealed crime against an incompetent victim.
$3 million.
We've been to Stag Hill. This family is beyond the edge of poverty, struggling to put food on the table while you're teeing off at the country club in Ridgewood.
$5 million.
Make it 10. Payable now.
$10 million?
Now, you can wait for the jury verdict, but if you get convicted, your mother will die while you're in prison, and Jerome will have died for nothing. You did try to save him, didn't you? After you stabbed him.
I told him that the company had made millions and we couldn't even afford to take our kids to the doctor. You know, Jerome wouldn't change his mind, so I had the knife in the glove box, and I was just so angry because, you know, about Jerome helping the people that were cheating us, and I just lost it. I took him to the hospital. I really thought that he would be okay. I'll do it. I'll take the deal.
Any available 2-7 car for a 1053, possible fatality, ambulance en route.
2-7, Sector Charlie standing by. We'll respond, Central.
1 David, 10999.
It's bad.
2-7 Charlie to Central. Better put a rush on that bus.
You have to understand, I am Councilman Talbert's chief aide. A scandal like this hits the paper and I...
What scandal? Thought you said you just gave the lady a ride home.
I did, but how was I supposed to know a drunk was going to swerve into us? It was an accident.
So why'd you move her body?
I panicked. It was a stupid thing to do. So what am I charged with?
Leaving the scene of an accident, tampering with evidence, and we're just getting started.
This is... I told you, she had a little too much to drink.
No. Not according to our medical exam.
She looked drunk, okay? So I offered to drive her.
Was that before or after you raped her?
Whoa, guys. You got this all wrong. I never touched her.
What were you doing between 9:30 and 1:45? Taking a poll?
I don't know what she was doing. I wasn't with her.
Oh, so after the party, you just hung around for 5 hours and then you just happened to run into her? That's stretching it pretty thin, bud.
I had a drink in the bar.
Bar closed at 12.
I was in the lobby after that.
Oh, well, then we'll find some witnesses. Give me your cuffs, Lenny. In the meantime, you're under arrest for the rape of Lissa Wesley.
Okay.
And for leaving the scene of an accident.
Anybody. I swear.
But you know who did, don't you?
Mr. Locke, sit down. Now, I think you know you're in very deep here. So why don't you tell us who you're protecting?
She told me in the car before the crash. She said she had been raped. She said it was Councilman Talbert.
It's a gift, Todd. Listen to the DA.
I shouldn't have told you anything as it is. Loyalty, you know.
Cooperate, and the charge is leaving the scene of an accident. 6 months probation. Don't, we had tampering with evidence, accessory to rape, conspiracy. All felonies, no pleas.
Feed the homeless. Clean a park.
You don't need Talbot's problems.
We're at the fundraiser, and Talbot spots Lissa. He's interested, but his wife's there, so I have to tell Lissa. Talbot wants to speak to her later in a suite. He heard what a good job she's doing on the campaign. So I brought her up, told me to wait in the bar.
How'd you wind up with her?
Talbot went home in the limo and told me to make sure she got home.
She had a car.
There's no way she could drive. She came down, she looked like hell. You know, makeup was running, eyes were red. Real bad shape. Kind of had a feeling what happened.
Are you assuming she was raped, or did she tell you?
Eventually, she told me. She asked me to take her to a hospital. That's where we were going when she was a nice girl.
Hey, here's something. For the last 4 months, Dorning's been drawing a commission check every 2 weeks. Then in the last month, he drew 2 checks within a few days of each other.
He could have had a good month.
Look at the dates on the checks.
Dad works hard. You earn those commissions.
Any special reason he didn't wait for his regular pay date?
He needed in advance.
What for?
He's my father. He had his ass handed to him a couple of months ago. He says he needs money. I give it to him.
The first check in the amount of $5,000 is dated the day before Karen Watney went off the bridge. The second check in the same amount is dated the day after.
I'll tell you. Okay, before the fire, Dad borrowed from a Shylock. The guy was leaning on him.
Mr. Dorning, stop lying for him.
He didn't have anything to do with Karen's death.
She knew about the arson.
There was nothing to know. It was vandals. Ask the fire marshal.
They've reopened the case. They know who the arsonist was, and they'll prove your father was behind it.
You know what happens next? The insurance company comes looking for its money. They'll seize this business.
This is my business. They just can't take it away.
What they don't take, we will, as proceeds of a crime.
I have 35 employees here.
You cooperate, you just might save their jobs. Here's my card. Give us a call.
The underwriters agreed to a schedule allowing my client to pay back the insurance money. The caveat being, he testifies against his father.
I appreciate this wasn't an easy decision for you, Mr. Dorning.
We have conditions of our own. You waive prosecution of my client for any accessorial conduct after the fact, and you waive seizure of his mortgage company.
We can live with that.
That's not all. I would like some consideration for my father.
I can't make any promises.
He was in deep trouble with this factory. I'm sure he didn't mean for anyone to get hurt.
If he accepts a plea, I'll make a sentence recommendation.
Well, after Dad had lunch with Karen, he told me that she was trying to extort him. She wanted $10,000 or she would tell the police about the fire. I told him he was worried over nothing, that she was just shooting her mouth off.
Your father thought differently?
He said she could hurt us. He told me that he'd hired someone to burn down the factory. I was stunned.
You never suspected him?
It crossed my mind, sure. Business was circling the drain. I warned Dad years ago to get out, but he's stubborn.
What did you decide to do about Karen?
I told him he should pay her. I didn't want to lose my mortgage business. I cut him 2 checks.
He used the money to pay her off?
I don't know. He was afraid to go to jail. When he told me she committed suicide, I didn't know what to think. I thought I was here to sign a statement.
Mr. McCoy?
Have a seat.
Mr. McCoy, if you think you can use him to extract a plea bargain out of us.
I'm not looking for bargains.
Sorry, Dad.
You're sorry? That's it? You're sorry?
Harold, it's better you don't talk.
He's right, Mr. Dorning. You're better off listening very carefully to what I have to say. At the time your factory burned down, your son's option to buy his mortgage company was about to expire. He'd been turned down for a loan, and he was in danger of losing his $50,000 down payment.
What's your point?
His father's insurance money came just in the nick of time.
It's called luck. Some people in our family have it.
Some people make their own luck.
Yes, and lucky at cards, unlucky in love. Is any of this relevant?
The day before your client came to see me, Dave Randall skipped town and advised Mike McDougan to do the same. Was that also luck?
There's only one person in this room who could have tipped them off.
Robbie, what are they saying? Who is Dave Randall?
The man who set the fire at Walk Raid. The man to whom your son paid $10,000 to silence Karen Watney.
We had a handwriting expert examine the 2 checks that were made out to you by your son. Your endorsements had been forged.
You burned down my factory.
Dad.
You killed Karen.
That's not true.
Mr. Dorning, if you have anything to say to me about your son, now's the time.
Dad, please, don't say anything.
Dad, please look at me. Karen told me that she saw him at the factory the night before the fire, loading personal things out of his office into his car. She hadn't gone to the police out of loyalty to me. And now she needed money and she expected me to help her.
What did you tell her?
I told her I wouldn't do it. I thought she was making the whole thing up just to blackmail me. I told him. I said I felt sorry for her. I thought maybe we could give her a job. He said no. He didn't want her around telling lies.
Please, stop.
He said, don't worry. I'll handle it. When I heard how Karen died, I never put it together. I never thought. He said, trust me. He said, I'll always take care of you.
You're such a loser. Such a damn loser.